What will the final league position be? I'm going to go with 5th.
Food. Nailed it.
What a season it's been. Newcastle back in the Champions League. We've won a trophy, and I don't care how we did it. We are in the Champions League. We finished 5th. Slightly disappointing to lose to Everton on the last day of the season, but it doesn't matter because actually results went for us elsewhere. We're in the Champions League. That's what the prize was for finishing 5th this season. We've got it. It has been a bit of a season of ups and downs, let's be honest. We've had some amazing moments this season. We've obviously won the Cup, but we also have had some brilliant performances in individual games. We've scored lots of goals. We have had some terrible moments this season. We've had some big defeats. We've had moments when we've played poorly but got good results, and so it's been a bit of a weird season in some respects, but also just brilliant because it's been really entertaining. We've won a trophy. We've got Champions League football secured. We can go into the summer feeling absolutely brilliant that this club is in a great place and ready to kick on to the next level, because let's be honest, we do need to get to the next level. There is another level we need to get to. We're not quite there yet. We're not the finished article, and this squad is going to get broken up, I feel, fairly significantly this summer, and we're going to see lots of new faces arrive at the club, which is just so exciting because I love this group of players. I love the fact that we have had this group of players for quite a long time, and the bond between the fans and the players is very, very strong and real, but there's no room really for sentimentality in football. We have to kick on, we have to improve, and thankfully we have a manager in Eddie Howe who is all about that. He's all about kicking on, improving, getting new players in, getting us to a higher level. Before the season started, I actually predicted that we would finish 5th, and it's worth remembering that actually felt like quite a brave prediction at that point before the season kicked off, because when I made that prediction, Newcastle hadn't bought anyone again, and there was a bit of discontent about that. We'd obviously come off the back of a season where we hadn't qualified for Europe. We'd finished, I think, 7th the previous season, and we kind of just tailed off a bit. So the expectation was that we hadn't really strengthened, and therefore we wouldn't be able to kind of finish any higher again. I never felt like that, because I felt like the previous season there was a lot of reasons why we finished where we finished. We had such bad injury problems during that campaign when we were in the Champions League that it completely derailed our season. And as long as we could avoid that this season, then we'd be all right. So to predict us finishing 5th wasn't something that was widely being talked about. I also said that our ceiling was really high, but we also had quite a low floor. So I predicted we could finish anywhere from 3rd to 8th, which I feel was pretty spot on, to be honest with you, because I feel like, okay, 7th was probably in the end kind of the floor was going to be the 7th, but like 3rd was realistic right up until the last day of the season. So I feel like I kind of got that right as well. And I feel like the reason I said that was because I knew and trusted in Eddie Howe, and I know that Eddie Howe is not perfect, but he's bloody good, and he's done an amazing job with a squad that does lack depth, like real depth. And this last run of games since the Carabao Cup final, I'm so glad the season has ended, because we really needed the season to end, because our squad was on its last legs basically. We had key players out, but some of the players who were playing were clearly not fit. Isak clearly wasn't fit. I wonder whether Anthony Gordon is not fully fit as well, and he's played a lot of football over the last 2 or 3 years as Anthony Gordon, and 1 or 2 people on his back and complaining about his effort and stuff, but I just wonder if he just needs a really good summer off. Eddie Howe, in my opinion, has us punching above our weight. I think I've mentioned on this channel before that this squad is the 8th most valuable in the league, and yet we're finishing 5th. We could have finished 3rd. So for me, Eddie Howe has us punching well above our weight at the moment. What's going to be really interesting next season is if we do get reinforcements and new players and freshen up this squad, is thinking about what our ceiling is then and what our floor is. Because actually for me, it's not necessarily about having a higher ceiling. I feel like we're going to be aiming to obviously consolidate our place in the Champions League next season. That's got to be the first aim, possibly after winning a trophy. We need to raise the floor up. I think we want to be saying next season we don't want to be finishing any lower than 6th or 5th, and really having some ambition to kind of raise that floor up, because we will have better quality players. Next season we have a lot to look forward to. So obviously Champions League football, back at St James's Park, going into Europe, playing some of the biggest teams in Europe. Our coefficient ranking is actually the bottom in the entire Champions League. That means, in theory, we're kind of like the worst team in the competition, but actually the new format's going to suit us, I think. Last time we were in the group of death, which didn't do us any favours. We were unlucky not to get out of it. We were kind of robbed a little bit at PSG, but it's just one of those things. Whereas this new format with the big league, I think will suit us, because we're going to play a range of teams. We're going to play some really good teams. We're going to play some teams who we should be beating, who we should be better than. So you've only got to look at what Villa have done this season to think, yeah, well, we could kind of replicate and do something similar next season. Absolutely. I really do strongly believe that. So the Champions League is going to be very, very exciting. Always, playing in European football is always exciting. So I can't wait for that. But I'm also really excited about who's going to come in. Like, I'm really excited about that, because we know that it's going to happen. We haven't had it for 3 transfer windows, really. I know we've had the odd, a player's come in, Asula's come in, Lewis Hall was made permanent. But apart from that, no one in the first team has come in. So that's going to be very exciting. I will be doing lots of videos about that sort of transfers and things like that over the summer. And really, I think I'm excited to see us build on becoming more consistent. Like, we lost to Arsenal away, right? 1-0 at the Emirates. But do you know what? We gave them a game. I mean, how many years have we been going to the Emirates and just been rolling over and just not doing anything at these places? We won at Spurs, we won at Man United. Okay, they finished terribly, but like, these are places we've not won at that much in the past. We beat Arsenal in the League Cup away from home. To take that next step up, we're going to need to go to every single away ground and be in with a chance of winning. That is the next step, and I think with a better squad we can do that. So yeah, becoming more consistent, finishing in the top 4 outright needs to be our aim without stressing on the last day of the season. That's kind of where I'm hoping we end up next season. But what I would say is, expectations are going to be high, and I saw some people moaning, not everyone, it's a minority, but there is an element of our fan base who like to moan, say we didn't deserve the Champions League because we lost to Everton. But that is just utter nonsense, because it's a long season. You are judged over 38 long, hard games. It's not based on one game. The recency bias that exists when fans of sport talk about sport is unbelievable, and they kind of lose context a bit. It's like, no, we deserve to finish where we did because we did it over 38 games, and we've proven that we're a good team over 38 games. We're not the best team, but we're a bloody good team. And yeah, at the end of the season, we were struggling a bit with knocks and injuries and key players out, but we did enough. We did what we needed to do. We finished 5th because we deserved to finish 5th, and that's fine. Some people obviously wanted us to finish 3rd because we had it in our hands on the last day, and I get that, but it doesn't matter. Like, as long as we finish in that top 5, the prize was the same. We get into the competition we wanted to get into, and yeah, okay, maybe a few million quid here and there, but the big money, the big prize is the Champions League. That's where the money is. That's where getting better players comes from. So it doesn't matter how we got there. It's just that we did. My worry is going into next season, those same sort of people who are quite vocal, if things aren't going smoothly, kind of by Christmas, it might be like, they'll be like, oh, we've bought new players and Howe doesn't know what he's doing and we're not doing well enough. And it's like, if we've learnt anything from the 3 or 4 years we've had Eddie Howe, it's like, things aren't going to go right all the time, but generally he does adapt, he does change, he does find a solution eventually. And we just have to trust him. He's won us a trophy, and he's got us in the Champions League 2 out of 3 years. The last 3 seasons have been absolutely brilliant. And of course, the first kind of part season he was here were amazing as well, because we escaped relegation, and that was another achievement. But the last 3 seasons where we've had Champions League football, then we qualified for the Champions League, then we had Champions League football, and now this season. Overall, that is what, in the dark days of Ashley, these are the seasons we were dreaming of. We've got to be happy with what we've got. We've won a trophy, we've got Champions League football. We don't need to keep adding pressure on. The club is in a good place, it's heading in the right direction, we are doing well. Let's just trust Howe and the coaches and the playing staff to get where they need to get to, right, without putting too much pressure on them. I know it's not everyone. I know lots of people feel exactly the same as I do, that this is great. What we're doing is great. We're heading in the right direction. And now with the shackles of PSR loosening, this should be a massive summer for the club. And I am really, really excited to see where we head up. I'll just finish by saying this is probably the best season I've ever had in my life. I mean, I was lucky enough to stand in Wembley Stadium with my dad and see Newcastle United lift a trophy, something I never ever thought I would get the chance to do, and that has happened this season. And to qualify for the Champions League again is just the cherry on the top. And he's done an amazing squad he's an